I, Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, working under the directive of Mr. President, hereby inaugurate the Board of the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
That was the Honorable Federal Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, formally inaugurating the Board of the Federal Inland Revenue Service on Thursday, the 16th of January 2020. On this episode of Tax Matters, we are going to be looking at the work of the board, ably led by Mr. Muhammad Nami, who along with the board took office late in December 2019. We must begin by warmly congratulating the Honorable Minister, who turned 60 on Tuesday, the 16th of June 2020. Madam Minister, happy birthday. Many happy returns of today. We wish you long life and prosperity and the very best now and in the future. The journey of Mr. Muhammad Nami and his board began on the 9th of December 2019 when President Muhammadu Buhari announced the nomination of Mr. Muhammad Nami, consummate accountant, tax administrator and public officer, and 13 others as chairman and members of the board of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. In a swift move indicative of the urgency of the assignment, the Senate immediately forwarded the list to its Committee on Finance, and in like manner, the Committee on Finance, headed by Senator Lamileko Adola, speedily screened the nominees and forwarded the list to the Senate. On Wednesday, the 18th of December 2019, the Senate at plenary confirmed all nominees. In a show of full readiness to hit the ground running, the new Executive Chairman FRS reported for duty at Revenue House, Abuja, the very next morning after the confirmation by the Senate. Mr. Nami was warmly received by jubilant top management and rank and file of the service who had filled the hall to capacity before his arrival. On that first visit, Mr. Nami laid the foundation for his term in office. The following day, December 20, 2019, Mr. Nami was at work beginning his day with a meeting that he held with an expanded group of senior management staff of the service. In his brief remarks, the Executive Chairman FRS unveiled a 3-month roadmap containing a 14-point action plan.
First, on the agenda, and which God's willing will happen between January and March, is strategic retreat to define roles and target setting. There is a finance bill which has been passed to law. We will want, at least in the first or second week, through the tax policy department and the coordinating directors, we have a program for capacity building so that the staff and taxpayers are engaged on the bill. We are going to revamp ITAS operations. We want to treat taxpayers friendly going forward. The stress they pass through to get tax clearance annually cannot be tolerated anymore. We have an issue that has to do with lien. Whatever the ICT department is doing, we are not trying to say what they have done is wrong. Because through the lien placement, we are able to bring more taxpayers to TaxNet. We must commend them for that. But what we are going to do is to ensure that the process of placing lien will be overhauled, because what is obtainable today is punitive and it is not going to be tolerated.
On Tuesday, the 16th of January 2020, the new FRS board was formally inaugurated in Abuja. The board is the second board put in place since the coming into effect of the FRS Establishment Act 2007. At the inauguration, the Honorable Federal Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning laid out the expectations of government from the board.
To the chairman and members of the board of FRS, being a board member of such an important revenue agency comes with grave responsibilities. Indeed, under the FRS Establishment Act, the board we are here to inaugurate today is charged with various responsibilities, and this includes having overall supervision of the FRS by providing general policy guidelines, managing and superintending over the FRS policies on matters relating to the administration of the revenue assessment, collection and accounting systems for taxes under applicable statutes, reviewing and approving the FRS strategic plan, superintending over the employment, remuneration, and disciplinary measures for FRS employees in consultation with the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, and with the approval of the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, making rules and regulations that may be necessary or expedient for giving full effect to the provisions of the FRS Establishment Act of 2007.
In his response, Mr. Nami represented his 3-month roadmap.
Our efforts to reposition the service for better service to our esteemed taxpayers will be anchored on 4 cardinal pillars. 1, rebuilding FRS institutional framework. 2, robust collaboration with stakeholders. 3, building a customer taxpayer-centric institution. 4, data-centric institution. Portion to that, but I intend to optimize the following during the first 100 days in office. 1, building capacity of staff for effective service delivery, closing on all lien cases in order to build new enforcement strategies, restructuring and repositioning of audit function, review of structures for optimal performance has already commenced and will be unveiled at FR's corporate strategy retreat that will be holding in February to define roles and targeting setting. 6, capacity building on finance bill and other tax programs. 7, review of tax clearance certificate administration processes, revamping of integrated tax administration system ITAS, reposition of large tax and medium tax offices, determination of collection of focus key performance indicators and other key service parameters, reposition of collections, reporting and accounting, overhauling of critical ICT infrastructure which are cost-effective for efficient service delivery. Let me assure you that I intend to build on achievement of my predecessors in office while building a tax administration that would not only deliver on its mandate, but also that we shall all be proud of.
This kind of nonsense has to end today. Why would the bank be removing somebody's money every time like that?
Mr. John.
My neighbor.
Yes, sir. Why are you rushing to like this?
Can you imagine? I just sent money for my son, and I got a debit alert of 15 naira from my bank as stamp duty. I am going to seek explanation from my bank because I made a transfer, not post a letter.
Mr. John. Let me explain what stamp duty is. Stamp duty is not all about postage stamp matters. The 15 naira is a stamp duty levy charged by banks on customers who make transfers of 10,000 naira and above from one bank account to another bank account.
And why should I pay stamp duty for my hard-earned money?
Mr. John, paying stamp duty levy is a civic duty for every patriotic citizen. The taxes we all pay are collected and used by the government to pay salaries and provide basic amenities for citizens. It's even easier to make stamp duty payments now. All you need to do as a taxpayer is to log on to the following: www.stampduty.gov.ng or www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-stamping. By the way, Mr. John, it pays to pay your tax, you know.
Oh, thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you, my daughter.
You're welcome,
My
sir.
regards to your family.
All right, sir.
This broadcast is powered by FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Welcome back. We are looking at the tenure of Mr. Mohammed Nami as Executive Chairman FIRS over the last 6 months. A large part of it, of course, sunk in by the lockdown occasioned by the novel COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Nami and the FIRS are not alone in this. So is Nigeria not alone in it? It is a worldwide problem. We can conveniently say, however, that the FIRS has done well in the midst of the challenges thrown its way. Let's look at a few of the promises made at different turns in the journey so far. It is said that he who fails to plan, plans to fail. On assumption of office and at the inauguration of the board, Mr. Nami promised to consult widely and to bring together relevant persons to lay the building blocks for tax administration during his tenure and beyond. In keeping with this promise, Mr. Nami hosted the 2020 corporate plan retreat of the service between the 6th and the 8th of February 2020. The occasion brought together past chairmen of the service, led by the Doyen of Taxation in Nigeria, Chief David Olorunleke. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant impact on the economy of the country and by extension the tax economy, Mr. Nami has risen up to the occasion by offering the much-needed support and relief to taxpayers. Among other things, the FRS has put in place the following. Taxpayers have been given the grace to pay now and file later, and in the process, enjoy waiver of late return penalty, LRP. Taxpayers are now also able to submit their documents or file their returns by email. With regard to filing of pay-as-you-earn returns for staffers of the Foreign Affairs Ministry, non-resident individuals, as well as armed forces and police personnel, which was statutorily due at the end of March, extension has been granted to the 30th of June. For taxpayers whose taxes are payable in foreign currency, approval has been granted for such taxes to be paid in Naira using the I&E Forex window rate at the prevailing rate on the day of payment. VAT and withholding tax remittances, which are ordinarily due on the 21st day of the month following deduction, can now be paid at the end of the month. Until the 30th of June 2020, field audit, investigation and monitoring visits to taxpayers' premises have been put on hold. The administration of Mr. Nami has also taken steps to strengthen the use of information technology to drive tax administration. The electronic services system and the integrated tax administration system have been fine-tuned, making it easy for taxpayers to fulfill the obligations of filing and paying taxes without having to physically visit the tax office. This, of course, has resulted in appreciable inflow of revenue into government coffers, even as it is generally admitted that there is room for improvements. Displaying the quality of a person imbued with the milk of human kindness, Mr. Nami has offered employment to a group of physically challenged men and women at the FRS.
To congratulate you. Therefore, God has done for you. And to assure you that you will only be posted to where you want. By the grace of God.
Thank you, sir.
One of the hallmarks of the Nami administration has been the continuous consultation with stakeholders on ways and means of stepping up tax administration in Nigeria. One such occasion was a consultative meeting held with stakeholders in Lagos to discuss the contents of information circulars to be issued by the FRS on the implementation of the Finance Act 2019.
The gathering today is for the purpose of a joint review of the 6 draft information circulars developed by FRS on the implementation of the 2019 Act. It is also in line with one of my 4 cardinal objectives for the year, which is robust collaboration with stakeholders. I'm aware that information circulars are not laws and are not intended to replace the provisions of the laws. They are very important tools for clarifying various provisions of the tax law in line with Section 8, Section 1T of the FRS Establishment Act. This joint review is targeted at harnessing your views on the draft in order to ensure that the circulars serve the purposes well.
The information circulars, 7 of them in all, have since been released to the public. Public notices have also been churned out regularly to ensure that the tax system in Nigeria keeps pace with the business climate, not only in Nigeria, but all over the world. No doubt, so much has been going on at FRS. We are looking at 6 months of Muhammad Nami in office as the Executive Chairman FRS. The journey so far. Tax Matters has been speaking with some gentlemen who should know. We wanted to know from them how the board of the FRS has fared so far.
I have keenly, followed some of his actions, actions of management under him, and they are very much a positive nature. Why am I saying this? At least from union angle, we have looked at the, the strategies, the review of certain things that are stated towards building staff morale. So I will address the successes vis-a-vis union, vis-a-vis the organization, his actions so far. Now, since he came on board, I have itemized, some things that the current management under his supervision has done, which interest staff so much. One, he has given us new federal inland revenue organogram. You get a point? And the essence of this organogram is that it's just like a ladder. The service now knows where and how it's climbing. Everybody now knows how, so that organogram, he has, the new one he has given us is very much dear to us. Also, there is ongoing reorganizations. He has reorganized some, and some are still going on, which we are happy. For instance, we discovered in the process of the reorganization too, he has created some new departments. Do you understand me? He has expanded the function. Now, why is that interesting me as a union official? It's interesting me because in expanding those functions, creating those departments, invariably he's creating vacancies. You get the point? And those departments he has created, I equally see some of our senior officers being acting heads of departments. What does that portend? It portends that in near future, any little promotion, any promotion, you see them becoming a full-fledged director. You get the point? So we are happy. Secondly, now the issue of creation of vacancies is equally so dear to me as a union chairman. If you're a civil servant or a public servant and you are stagnated, or when you ought to be promoted, you are not being promoted, you will not be happy. Then that will lead to loss of job satisfaction. You get the point? So what are we saying here? He has created room for more vacancies, not even room. He has created more vacancies for staff, which means if not this pandemic, 2019 promotion exercise and 2020, would have been very perfect. So he has created vacancies for staff, which means a lot of our staff that will attend these promotion exercises, if they become successful, they will be promoted, thereby easing the system. Do you understand me? So we are happy about that on this issue of vacancy issue. Now, also, we also discovered that he has appointed coordinating directors. And in appointment of these coordinating directors, none of those acting as coordinating directors, none of them came from our side. They are all our senior directors who were elevated on acting capacity as coordinating director. We are happy about that. We are happy about that. Now, also, he has equally stopped what you call consultancy services. Consultants, they are not staff, but they come into the service to do one or two jobs for the service. But he came, he said, no, we need to terminate all those consultancy contracts, services. The job should go back to FRS staff. And we are happy about that. He equally put a stoppage on contract staff. You get the point? Because he said, no, give the job back to the staff, called pensionable and bona fide FRS staff. So all those on contract engagement, he stopped it. He's not renewing. You get the point? And he said the job should be given back to the bona fide staff. And we are happy about that. These are welfare matters. These are things that boost staff morale. You get the point? So, and also, there is this dichotomy existing before. Like if you are retiring, their exit package, there's a breakage, that's how it's being calculated. We equally approached him when we held our first meeting with management. I said, sir, help us remove that dichotomy. As provided in the Pension Act, if you are retiring, your last emolument, should be used to calculate your exit package. And before you know it, the board approved it, and they got back to us that it has been approved. We are happy about that. You get the point? Also, if you go to our policy too, that's what we call ATA rule on directors. The policy says if you're a director and you have stayed for as a director for 8 years, retire, is in our policy. He came, he implemented it. Then that equally means that other senior officers will now climb up. And as they climb up, you will agree with me, it will ease the career progression. So all these things are staff welfare tendencies, which as a union official, as a union chairman, interests me so much. Within this space period of time, which he has done, they are commendable. Even apart from this, there are some others too we've listed, we've presented to him. He said in near future he will attend to them because he understands that it's only when the staff are motivated, then you will get the best from them. So as a union official, if that is being done, that is why I'm in union, to ensure that the welfare of my staff are improved upon and protected. And also, on our own side, we'll continue to create that enabling environment for the organization to thrive well by ensuring industrial peace and harmony. They get a point. So the totality of it all is that union will support the current management under the leadership of our amiable executive chairman. We will support him, we will support the management, we will support the board, ensuring that FRS continues to deliver its mandate of assessing, accounting the money to the federal government, and invariably to making our impact for the progress and development of government at all levels.
Has shown us that he has confidence in the ability of entire staff to deliver the mandate given to the service. He has given the service back to us to run the way we should and the way we've been doing before. Despite the pandemic challenges we're facing, we actually been performing very well, and the collection so far, in view of the fall in the crude price oil, the collection so far so good, it's not been bad, and the Nigeria can attest to that. We're happy working with him. We're back as a big family, and he's leading us, and by God's grace, we will not disappoint the nation. And the morale of staff is high. We're happy. In fact, we were, during the lockdown, majority of us work at home, and he gets in touch with us to encourage us to put in our best. He has provided most of tools we need, and he has motivated us by giving us AIE to run our office efficiently. So we don't need to rely on Abuja to be able to run our office efficiently. And you can see a lot of circular coming out to educate the taxpayer on what they need to do as regards the tax payment. And you can see on a monthly basis, we're collecting the taxes that we need to collect.
Because of time constraints, this will have to continue next episode. We will be looking further at the achievements of Mr. Nami and his able team of board and management against the background of the promises made at different turns. At resumption, at inauguration, and at the corporate strategy retreat. And of course, more from more respondents. Thank you for watching. See you next week.